Hey, happy Saturday. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I have like so much going on right now. I thought the YouTube stream I did was complicated. This one's a little bit more complicated for some reason. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Thumbs up. I see like actions on the loud and clear. All right, thank you so much. Lights are a little bit off, different hat, different stuff going on. So hey, happy Saturday. Welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. But yeah, happy Saturday. Welcome to the stream. I said that like 3 times now. It's my go-to. So yeah, so thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it, and the sub hype has been like incredible. I'm gonna call them all out here in a second. Thank you so much, man. You guys blowing me up. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, I'm just gonna go live. There was so much activity, so I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Let's just call them out now because it's appropriate. So. PC Geek resub tier 1 25 month streak, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. How's it going? Good to see you. General Ryan, resub, tier 1, 23 months. Man, almost 1 year. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Geeky Rand gifted 10 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you so much. Jeez, man. So Geeky Rand, how's it going, Rand? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Gifted 10 subs. Let's see. So, Lentella, up to Entropy. Ruhan, I got that one right. Ruhan Becker, Rolbron Domit, Urs Gabriel, GC Co-Stabber, Mick Zuffin, Andreas Rocks, and let me see, Menama, oh, that one's a tough one. Menamamiken and Sweetest Ninja, enjoy your gifted sub from Geeky Rand. Dude, Randy, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I say Randy. Hopefully it's Randy, but I'll say Geeky Rand that too. Dude, thanks. Appreciate it, man. And Modest Tim, how's it going? Has resub tier 1, 3 month streak. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good weekend. I am having a good weekend. I'm a little off this weekend, but I think I'm a little off. I think for me personally, lately, being a little off is the new norm. So I need to stop saying I feel a little bit off. It's because if it's my new baseline, then I'm not a little off. Anyways, thank you, appreciate it. And Mr. Monsoon is resub tier 1, 5 months. 5 months. Thank you so much, appreciate it. So welcome to the stream. If you haven't been here before, it's pretty laid back. It's usually Q&A, kind of open forum to talk about things we're interested in working on. It's absolutely, you can still do that. You can throw it in chat. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't know if you saw my tweet or my post somewhere, but today for 100 days of homelab, I think I'm on day 119. At some point, I think the only day I'll technically quote unquote stop is if I forget to tweet, because I'm still going to be doing stuff. Anyways, my streak is 119 days. I'm going to keep going until I accidentally forget to tweet before midnight of that day, and I think that's when my streak breaks. So anyways, but for today, I was finally getting back around to my Storinator. I have a Storinator I got a while ago. I'm waiting for a server rack. I finally chose a server rack. I'm not going to tell you. It's actually going to be here tomorrow. I'm super stoked for it because it said it'd be here next week, and all of a sudden, surprise, it's going to be here early. How often does that happen? Instead of delays, I don't know, got here a little bit faster. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Maybe it's the under promise, over deliver. Is something that some businesses follow. They tell you it's going to be a couple weeks, and then you get it in a couple of days, and you're actually excited, even though you're okay with a couple of weeks. Anyways, I don't know if that's a under promise, over deliver, or they just messed up on shipping. But anyways, it's gonna be here tomorrow. I'm super excited for this server rack. It's new. I shouldn't even have said anything about it. So, but I'm super excited. I might share some stuff out on Twitter and Instagram before I actually do it, because it's gonna take a while to put together. Anyways, that being said, that accelerated the stuff that I needed to do for my Storinator. One thing is I want to swap out the power supplies. They gave me multiple power supplies, dual power supplies that are awesome. Ooh, no name, or should it be no name? I know it's not no name, but that sounds fun to say. No name, thank you for the Prime sub, appreciate it. Thank you so much, thank you. So anyways, I have my server rack, all of this, well, I'll have my server rack tomorrow. The things I need to do for my Storinator are a little bit accelerated. And like I mentioned when I was building my Storinator, it's kind of loud. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of loud because it has dual 1200 watt power supplies. Like it's meant to drive, you know, at least my system is meant to drive up to, I think, 16 or 18 drives. And then on top of that, the power supplies that they put in all of their 4U servers are meant to drive 60 drives. So you're getting, you know, you're getting a pretty beefy pair of power supplies that also have pretty high RPM fans that make some noise. Totally fine if you're in a server environment and noise is not an issue. Not so fine when it's in my house. Because even though I have 1U servers, they're generally quiet. I don't want anything louder than my 1U servers. So anyways, long story short, they said, hey, yeah, we have a solution for that. We'll send you some parts, and they did. And so I'm gonna actually swap out that power supply. And I figured, why not, instead of like trying to like do this later and or do it before, I'm just gonna do it live. We're gonna do it live. It's a little more involved than you would actually think, swapping out these power supplies. I thought, yeah, it's you know, how many times have I installed or removed power supplies from, you know, ATX power supplies? Like, no brainer, easy. Cable management's the hardest part. This one's a little bit more involved because they had to send additional plates and additional fans, and so I figured out I'll do it live. I got everything rigged up back there. Don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do here in about 2 minutes, and yeah, we'll go from there. I mentioned this before. If you're new to the stream, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to stick around and join up afterwards or even during the stream, we have a Discord server that's full of lots of the people you see in chat are in the Discord server, and lots of people you don't see in chat are also in that Discord server. We talk about all kinds of stuff all day, like tech memes, you name it. But also lots of help for lots of things that we're working on, like things we're self-hosting, hardware we're considering buying, hardware that's not working, or just general guidance on you know, architecture too. It's pretty fun. It's a great group of people. I think it's the best Discord out there for tech. A little biased, but but we do have a ton of people who are super helpful that are going above and beyond every day. So anyways, if you'd like to join, there's links everywhere. If not, just do exclamation Discord and you'll see it. And it's a good time. So so I think we should put this together. I'll probably have a lot of explaining, and you'll see it's where it gets a little bit complicated, and where it's not like a traditional power supply. The downside is I'm gonna have to do a lot of cable management too, which is like, which you know how it goes. If you ever swap out a power supply, it's like, you know, we'll see. But LTT screwdriver. I wish. Like, no joke, I want to buy one. Absolutely. I want to buy one for a couple of reasons. One, I'm going to support Linus and LTT. Like, I like Linus. I like LTT as a brand. I want that channel to stick around, even if people complain about the price of the screwdriver. Hey, I want Linus in the future, you know, and that's one way I'd like to support him. Screwdriver can be, you know, great, number one, number two, anything. But for me, it means supporting a fellow creator. So absolutely, I want to buy one. But I think the only colors that they have right now are the LTT branded ones, the orange and black. Nothing against orange and black, but I want a different color. So anyways, I do need to check the LTT store soon to see if they have new colors, and if they've actually released them. So, but absolutely, I don't have an LTT screwdriver yet. I wasn't on his short list of people he'd like to send it to. Totally fine. I get it. Probably has no idea who I am, but at the same time, I don't mind buying it. Like I said, I want to support creators who I want to see thrive in the future, and if that means, you know, paying whatever for a screwdriver, fine. At least I get something out of it too. You know, a pretty good screwdriver. So, anyways, I was thinking pink. I don't think he has a hot pink. He kind of has like a baby pink going on, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. I don't want the orange black. Nothing against Linus and his brand. That's not my brand. And I want something a little more fun that kind of sticks out. So anyways, you'll see my screwdriver. It's a Craftsman one, and it's not balanced, and it's not ratcheting, and it costs like $12. So So yeah, so anyways, let's switch over there. This might go smooth and it might go bad, so please bear with me for a second. Chat's gonna be a little hard to actually type back to, but I have things set up over there too. So I'm gonna switch over. Hopefully everything just goes swimmingly. So let me give me 2 seconds. I'm going to switch up my scene. Now, I think you can hear me now. I think you can hear me now, but it's probably not the right microphone. All right, does it sound okay though? Okay, it sounds okay, all right. This is not the microphone I wanted to use. This is not the microphone you're looking for, but anyways, if it works, it works. I gotta like figure this out, oh my gosh. And you can see all this. All right. So we're doing okay. So let me show you like a couple of things and why this is a little bit more complicated. And actually, let me get the lights here. Let me turn up my overhead light really quick so you guys can see in here a little bit better and why this is, a little more complicated than just switching out a normal power supply should be. So this power supply is right here. And I'm gonna try to do this without like destroying this beautiful faceplate. But this back panel here, you probably can't see it well, is totally customized for this power supply. And so I have to actually swap out the back piece to actually get this new power supply in there. And then it actually, once you swap this out, you can swap this out for more fans. Because if you can see right in here, you can see right in here, this power supply actually takes up some additional space where an additional fan could go if you could get the fan going. So if we take this out, that means we get one more fan and it should be a lot quieter. So I don't honestly know where to begin. I feel like I should take off this back panel right here and then go from there. But as you can see, like these hard drives are mounted to this back panel. The actual power switch is in the back, so it's mounted, attached here. All the cables are nicely run through here, so there's a lot of change that needs to happen. Let's see, Geeky Ran, so full rebuild. Pretty much, man, pretty much. Shruga, hey Tim, thanks for the nut install video. Yeah, no problem at all, That might get a little bit easier too, and I'll explain that probably in a future video. That might get a lot easier than it is now. A lot less config, a lot more automation. So I've been working with Triplight, and they've actually automated a lot of stuff. So that's coming. A lot of spoilers today, But Triplight did some really great work to help automate that for people. But I'm glad you got it working. It'll be much easier in the future. Maffin, don't blow it up. Yeah, thank you, thank you. JCX, so does the large wattage power supply actually sound loud then? Yes. I would have thought that a low, under a load, it would throttle down. No, unfortunately, no. These fans, let's take it out. Let's take this out. These fans stay at full RPM. Like there is, there is no in between. It's full throttle the whole time. So yeah, it's a little wild and a little bit loud. I have the same setup, but I use MDF. What case is it? This is my Storinator server. This is my Storinator server. But let me take these power supplies out, and maybe it'll give you like a better idea of what I'm talking about. And I think I'm gonna take like every screw off the back here too. Geez, that must be blasting. Yeah, it is for sure. Xavius, my current project, Samsung 16 gig DDR3 ECC 1600. All right, 1600 megahertz C11. $110 in a SanDisk 384 terabyte SAS, 12 gigabits SSD. Man, quantity $1,000. Oh yeah, I've seen bills like that before. My bill for my hard drives for my disk shelf was pretty high, and that was a couple of years ago too. Geez, that must be blasting. It is blasting. Aprashar, the new screwdriver tech may be better than my sledgehammer. I learned something every day. Yeah, it's, yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a cheap Craftsman. It's worked great for me for a long time, but I love the LTT screwdriver. I just want to wait till it gets more colors in. Wish I could hear the music. Let me know if the music's too loud right now, too, because I cannot hear the background music at all, so I have no... and I don't even have headphones in, so I have zero threshold on what's going on. Magnetic bowl, you like that? Yeah, my bowl right now is my old Unify box. That's a great point. I would love a magnetic ball to put all these on, because right now it's a box that is from my doorbell. Good call, Kiki Rand. I'm gonna have to look into one. JCX, I know the HPA power supplies go to 100%. They're like screaming, but they're not designed to run at high speed, just a fail-safe. Yeah, no, these are 100% all the time. I could actually power it on real quick if you want to hear. Maybe I should do that so you get an idea of what this sounds like without it. And like, again, this isn't a dig at, you know, Storinator or 45 drives. It is what it is. I mean, in every sense of the word. Yeah, I'll plug it in. If my whole entire house shuts down, I'm sorry. I might be overloading what I have in my power supply or my breaker. You need it before and after. Yeah, I know. Okay, all right. I'll show you the before. I'll show you the before. And this might not come through speakers well. Either that or they'll peak. Okay. Yeah, I agree. See my voice and talking over it? I mean, it's not obnoxiously loud. If you're in a data center and you heard this, it would just blend in with everything else. Like, no problem at all. I mean, that's how servers sound. But that's not how I want my basement to sound. So I'm gonna turn this off. And these don't ramp down at all. And these are pretty, you know, these 120 millimeter fans you see right here, you know, they're enterprise fans, so they're built to push through a lot of air and be very reliable, but not so much quiet. So I have some other fans we'll do too. All right, I'm gonna power this off now, so you guys get the picture. All right. Turbofan activated. Yeah, totally. That button, just pressing that button alone is like the turbo button for sure. All right, let me put this over here. At some point, I'm going to clean up my workbench a little bit because it's getting kind of crowded. So let me. I'm going to start taking these screws off the back so I can pull this power supply out. They also sent instructions for me, and they were like, "Yeah, here's how you do it." I haven't looked at them yet, so but you guys know how that goes. It's like I don't look at them until something goes wrong. That is not as loud as your nose hair trimmer. Yeah, those can be pretty loud, I've heard. Damn, I was under the impression that the R720s were more quiet than the 1Us. Maybe it might not get an R720 after all. Yeah, the 720s they're okay. They're okay. You know, if you have both power supplies in and everything's good, they're okay. Yeah, they're not as loud. I mean, they're a little bit louder than my 1Us, believe it or not. But I mean, they're not super loud as long as you have both power supplies in. Sure. Golden ratio. My walls are super thin. You know what? Mine are too. Mine are super thin too. I live in an old house, which really doesn't have any insulation. It was like newspaper from like the 1900s. I think that's how they used to do it because I have plaster walls. So same here. My walls are super thin too. So, all right, Techno Tim. Dell servers are better than HPE. Ooh, them's fighting words. Quieter fans for homelab, but if you get an HPE with ILO, with mods now, G8 runs very quiet now. Yeah, there are a lot of mods you can get to. Oh, there we go. That was easy, or than I thought. There are a lot of mods you can use to spin down fans, and there's nothing I can do. So let me make this clear too. I did go into the IPMI on the server. This is a super micro board. I went into the IPMI here. And, you know, I even put it on efficient, lowest RPM, and it sounds like it does now. The only way now I'm going to quiet it down is by replacing these power supplies right here. And these are 1200 watt power supplies. So, yeah, I'm going to take these out, and then I have this monster power supply here, but a lot quieter. So I'm sacrificing redundancy. You know, I'm sacrificing redundancy. It's not something I typically do, but at the cost of noise, I think I'm going to have to. Just because you know, again, this is in my house. I don't want it to be super loud. But in a small business, if you had, you know, a network closet or a server room in the corner of your office, you'd barely hear it with the door closed. Same with data center. It would be nothing. You wouldn't even notice. All right, so far so good. 2 monster power supplies, yeah, gonna take these out. But again, I gotta take out the housing for it, all of the connections for it, and everything that has power has to be removed. What are you running? Think about running a cluster of 1Us? Let me go back a little bit. Sorry, I need to use a better chat client than Twitch, I think. You should send a comment to the vendor. I would love to see it there in advertising. Yeah. I mean, I've already sent that feedback to 45 Drives. I mean, they know, and they have a solution for it. You know, it's this right here, this power supply. And so they have a solution for it. They know, but again, they're building, you know, servers for enterprise. They're building servers for enterprise customers, large enterprise, small, medium businesses. And most small, medium businesses want dual power supplies. And and most small, medium businesses really aren't going to be too concerned about noise because it's going to be in a server room. My Dell 1Us are whisper quiet. No modding. Nice. Yeah, they probably haven't connected the control lines. What are you running? Thinking about running a cluster of 1Us. This is going to run Proxmox for a little bit. I haven't decided its final home, but the next, its next life is going to be Proxmox. Its current life is Ubuntu right now. It's just running Ubuntu server, and I did some testing with it. I got to check out Houston. Its next life is Proxmox. I want to do a little bit of testing, possibly with Ceph, and I want to do a little bit of automation too. And I thought this is going to be a great test bed to do this, but I don't know in the future if this ends up replacing my TrueNAS server and my disk shelf, or if this becomes a virtualization server and add it to my existing Proxmox cluster. So you're taking the server power supplies, or you're just swapping over to something like a standard ATX power supply? Yeah, no, I'm swapping over to this power supply. But again, in order to do that, I need to replace and disconnect quite a bit back here. So these, let me switch. the next piece I have to take out is really, I think I feel like I should remove this hard drive right here because this is going to be disconnected. So yeah, I have to take off this whole backplane first. That's my first mission. Take off the backplane for this. Is this guy live? Yeah, I'm live. I'm always live when I'm on Twitch. I'm never not live on Twitch. Twitch, I only do live. Who else? I mean, if someone runs pre-recorded stuff on Twitch, I think you're on the wrong platform because VODs don't do so well here. Techno Tim, I've been working on Ceph a lot this year. Nice. There are some tricks I can share if you like. Yeah. At some point, I would love to know. I would love to know more about Ceph. I don't know. Like Ceph is a great, high availability storage solution, especially when you have a cluster. And I'm, more and more interested in it. And I don't know enough about it, so I feel like I need to do it once to understand how it works. Now rerun. It is not a rerun. It is not a rerun unless I predicted that you were going to say it's a rerun and said it right at this time. Oh, YouTube messed me up. No, it's all right. Always nice to see more Ceph users. Yeah, Yakto. Yeah, I know you're a huge Ceph user, and so I'd love to know more about it so I can speak intelligently about it and understand why I would use it or why I wouldn't use it. For sure. Fake speedruns pre-record and streams on Twitch. Yeah, I like it. Fake speedrunners. Let me get back into, let me adjust my window a tiny bit. Let's see. Crazy Tech, thanks for the follow. David Trash, thanks for the follow. Pyloom, thanks for the follow. And Alex Ornaldo, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. How do you handle vulnerability management with all those servers? Recently starting using Tenable. Yeah, I've been liking it a lot. Like something open source. Yeah, so vulnerability patching. Yeah, it's interesting world. There's a lot of stuff to do it. For me, I combined a couple things. So I don't do vulnerability scanning to my containers yet, or my cluster yet, where I'm scanning my Docker containers. I will soon. However, I patch my OS and my containers almost daily, almost as soon as they're available. And so I have some automation around that, which makes it really easy. I will have vulnerability scanning coming soon, for sure. Penguin Airlines, how's it going? LOL, I guess the same league as the WAN show, people calling you pre-recorded. Yeah, why? Maybe I could understand on a stream that's that big, where they may or may not answer questions from the viewers. I could see it, but this absolutely, I'm answering questions. So yeah. Yep, morning over here for Moose Lizard LFS. Tricky, but once you get it, yeah, I want to check it out. Okay, let me get a couple of, so I have the hard drive piece out. Oh, can I unscrew this easily? I think I'm gonna need an actual wrench for that, which kind of stinks because I didn't bring a wrench up here, any of my wrenches. My daughter hates me because I check for Roku updates every night. Yeah, I do too. I check for everything all the time. I even have a routine where I update all of my apps right before I go to bed. I pull the refresh on my iPhone and then hit update on every single app, and that's the last thing I do on my phone. Because they phase out, they roll out updates at least for iOS. They phase them out over a 7 or 10 day period. But if you pull the refresh, that overrides it. So that's me. That's what I do. Time to grab some tools for you. I know. Nessus is pretty limited without some money, if I recall correctly. Nice. I've heard of Nessus, but haven't done it. Time for the dog to grab tools. I know, yeah. If Buddy or Nano could, I would totally have them do it. But you know what? I'm just to keep moving forward. Actually, something I've been doing recently is taking pictures of things before I tear them apart because I do not want to try to figure stuff out again. So if you ever disconnect a lot of stuff, take pictures. Jeez, I don't even want to disconnect it from there, and these don't look any different than here. I honestly feel like I should probably go get my wrench because That can go very wrong. Just look at the VOD. Yeah, good call, Mathney. Good call. I like it. I do that when I take my laptop apart. Yeah, I forget to. Sometimes I get about halfway through and I'm like, oh yeah, I should have took photos of all this. I started doing that when I put in my thermostat for the first time because I didn't know what any color of wire was. And so when I put my thermostat in, I took a picture of the back of the wires, and then it saved me big time. Because once you disconnect them, you kind of have no clue. And you hope that the person before wired it right. Yeah, I know. I just realized that too. I just realized that I'm recording it, so there's actually no need to even take photos because it'll be live. It'll be live. Pictures are great, but you're also recording. Yeah, for sure. David Trash. And label screws and put them in containers. Yeah, I should. They only use a handful of screws here, so these rounded ones I know are going to be for my PCI devices as well as this. The flat ones that I have in here, I know are for the outside of the case. So they only use three types of screws in here. So I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good on that. But yeah, that is absolutely a good idea too. So I am going to. So this is my my dual SFP Plus NIC right here, or control, I should say. And then. This is my HBA controller. I'm not gonna totally disconnect it. I know that seems weird that I'm just gonna hang this right here, but I don't want to disconnect any of the wires. Maybe I'm being lazy. That's what I always say and mess things up. Yeah, I hear you. Put the wrong screws in. I hear you. Yeah, I will. I'll probably end up doing that too. My printer finished 19 hours and 45 minutes, no spaghetti. Awesome. I wonder if it's a 12 gig or 6 gig. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Storinator's 12 gig. Thank you. Okay, so now I need to remove a couple more screws, and then I think I can take this back plate off, and then I can get to the housing for the power supply, and then I'll need to start cutting wires. Well, not wires, sorry. No, I'm not gonna cut wires. I'm actually going to cut some of the zip ties that they have in there. Let me unscrew this. Oh yeah, I am. Sorry, I'm gonna run really quick and grab my other. No, not cut resistors. No, nothing electrical. I meant zip ties, but I said wires. So there's some zip ties in here with all this nice cable management, which I'm probably gonna take a picture of too. I don't need to take a picture, but I will. But yeah, I'll be right back. I need to grab my socket set and my wrenches. It'll be 2 minutes. Be right back. All right. Oh, my socket and my tool set and some pliers that I probably won't use, but just in case. All right, Thank you. Thank you for the light mode. That actually helps. Quick rearrange everything on his desk. Yeah, that would be that would stink. No, that's way bigger. All right, this is not going to be. It's not going to be pretty, but I do need to turn this just to start it. Shouldn't be that tight. There we go. As long as I can get it started. I know, I don't have, I know. One of my friends had OCPD, and everything had to be in the right place, so get back to moving around up, slightly move things around, upside down. Yeah, I could see how that could bother people, for sure. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna have to go a little hacksaw on this. I just need to grab it. Just need to grab it so I can turn it a tiny bit. Blowtorch? No. No, no fire near here. No fire near here. Come on. I would assume they would have almost hand tightened it a little bit. Zaza. Before he shocks himself. It's unplugged, I think. Yeah, it's unplugged. I'm good. I'm good. If you can dodge a wrench, that is for sure. Which I didn't even grab. I didn't even grab the right tool. All right, you guys are gonna hate me. I'm going to grab something else rather than like hack this up with my pliers. Give me 2 seconds. All right, now I think I have the right tool for the job. I think. Jeez. I'm still curious how they got this on. I wonder if they used like just a socket and they probably didn't do it. I just need to get a tiny turn on it so I can loosen it. All right, killing me. I am gonna pull this off. I don't think that these are labeled. Hopefully this power switch, hopefully I can just connect these. Oh man, I hate trying to, or thinking about like taking this off and trying to figure out the order again. Is the nut on the outside? No, no, it's not. It's on the inside. If it's a power switch, it doesn't matter. I like that. I like that. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Let me just label this really quick. Let me grab my Sharpie. Yeah, I feel like going from left to right. So this is 1. This is 2. I can't even turn it. All right. I'm going to trust you guys. Yeah, it looks like it unplugs from the motherboard easier. You know, that's a really good point. That is a really good point. Yeah, good call. Good call. Because then it will be easier. All right. I am going to take close-up pictures. I know you guys say it's all on film, but I also want to, or film. It's all recorded, but I do want to make sure that I get a close-up. My phone can get in a better angle. Fingers in the way. All right. Painter's tape, yeah, that's a good point too. I do have blue tape downstairs. I just don't want to run back and get it. I keep running back there. I should have brought my whole entire tool set up here. All right, that was easier. Thank you for that suggestion. All right, so next up, there are 3 bolts down here. Let me grab my socket. Did I guess on the first try? No, a little bit bigger. There we go. Let me get my socket. And they're at an angle, of course. There we go. Your wife is running. Yeah, she's not here right now. So, yeah. She is a great assistant though when it comes to this stuff, because usually, you know, it's me underneath some countertop and asking her to grab me something, and but she is not home right now. She'll be home soon though, but this is probably the last thing she wants to do. Yeah, I should have used painter's tape. JCX, I print motherboard connection labels for the power headers onto an address label and then stick it to the case. These days I can never find the motherboard manual. Nice. Yeah, for sure, that is a good idea. Remember when they used to give you the big stickers on motherboards? I've had a few cases in motherboards where they give you a gigantic sticker, and then you would put that on the inside of the case. Yeah, which was super helpful. It was super helpful when they used to do that. Now, you know, they need to save costs, and they're not going to do that. But it was nice, for sure, when that used to be a thing. Oh, please say I don't have to take the whole motherboard out. I think I'm gonna have to at least move it a little bit. Unless, oh no, I think I can do it without. Okay. Why? I think I should just be able to pull this up after I push this through. That's where I got the idea from. That's a good idea. Yeah, that for sure. Techno Tim, while you're working, I need to upgrade my R22 to 128 gig ZFS mirror to SSDs. Can I pull the second of the mirror, put in the new set, and resilver and repeat? Yeah, you can. You can. It's gonna take a while, but yeah, you can for sure. What case is that? This is a 45 drive Storinator. Take out the motherboard backplate to protect the I/O out. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. But you know how backplates, you push them in from the outside, which I've disconnected from the outside. But what you can't see is that this whole thing needs to slide about 1/4 inch before I can move it up, which kind of stinks because the whole motherboard's there, which means I would have to disconnect the motherboard, shift it, 1/4 inch, and then I can pull this backplate up. I want to try without, but I have a feeling that even if I were to pull this off, getting the next one in, I'm going to have the same problem. Here's a better shot of kind of what I need to do. There are bolts in here, and the old one, can't really see it. They're in here, And I actually need to shift this whole thing out a little bit to then pull it up. But I can't because the whole entire motherboard's in the way. So when Geeky Rand said a complete rebuild, he wasn't lying. I think so too, PC Geek. I think I'm gonna have to remove it. Mr. Monzu, I'm fixing and checking my iDRAC and RMM before moving my server to the Colo Sunday. Nice, man, nice. This is a strange way to change a power supply. I agree, I totally agree. But this isn't a standard server. I'm going from dual 1200 watt power supplies to an almost standard ATX one. So they have custom power supplies. Will the bolts not come off all the way? Hey, I think you are on to something. Yeah, that is a great call. Oh no, I thought so. That was a great call, but the bolts are actually part of the case. I thought, oh yeah, you're right. I could turn them from behind, but I can't. They're actually part of the case. So no, the only way it can go is straight up and out, or back. So I'm just gonna loosen these up. I definitely have to take this out. There's no way around it, really. Can I make them not? No, I can't. I can't really do anything with them. I'll show you as soon as I get this plate off. You'll understand. It's the bottom case is actually part of or has these rivets with screws built in. So there's nothing I can do to get them out of the case. Salvarius, how's it going, man? What is this? A step away to run to the store for steak and trimmings for the grill, and you are doing more chatting with us. Yeah, so I'm replacing I'm gonna eventually replace the fans, but I'm replacing the power supply on this Storinator 45 drive system from the two 1200 watt power supplies down to just a more standard ATX one, really for noise. And this, it's a custom server, so yeah, they're riveted posts. Yeah, they are. They're riveted posts, and then they, and then they're threaded on one side. I mean, they basically look like this screw right here, but it's riveted into there, and it's a post. So there's nothing I can do from the inside. But as soon as I shift this motherboard, I mean, it's not the end of the world, unscrewing, the motherboard from the standoffs and then actually just shifting it over. I just didn't want to do it if I didn't have to. So, but hopefully I don't have to disconnect anything else. Famous last words. Each time I've said that, I've had to disconnect more and more. But, had I known, too, that these were going to be a little bit louder, I would have just asked them to put this power supply in from the beginning. And, they offered to help, too. But I was like, nah, I got this. I built so many PCs and servers in my life. Like, I totally got this. But I guess it was a little more involved than I thought it was going to be. Oh, please say that's not... hopefully that, I don't know, hopefully that post right there I can pull out. Oh yeah, they did send me parts. So they sent me all the parts. They got them to me even before I launched that video because they thought maybe I was gonna do it before then, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna swap this out while I'm editing this video. I'll do it later, which is now. I'm worried the storage vendor. No, absolutely not. 45 Drives told me they're the ones that sent me all this hardware. They said, "Yep, we'll do it for you." And again, this isn't normal. What I'm doing is a little more custom because they build highly available storage systems, and they want people to have dual power supplies. And so me. Reverting this back to a single power supplies is not a typical server that they build, but they have that option to do so. There we go. There we go. All right, come on. There we go. So now it's out. So I mean, this is what I was talking about. It has this lip, and then these, you can't, you might be able to see it a little bit. These are posts that are threaded. So I just needed like, you know, a 1/4 inch to be able to move that back. Okay, so while this is off now, maybe I can disconnect this because I don't I don't know why I'm so scared to disconnect those. It's probably fine, but there's no color coding, and I'm just like worried that like I'll accidentally do it wrong. There we go. Yeah, the sound, yep, it's definitely sound, 100% sound, because this is going to be in my home, so that's all I needed to do was get like 1/8 of a turn on this bolt right here so I can get it off without having to disconnect this, because I was worried I wasn't going to reconnect it properly. But the pinouts on here are a lot easier to figure out on the motherboard, as you guys pointed out, so thank you. Okay, so next up is now getting this out. And I'm gonna have to cut a ton of zip ties. And so this, hopefully, oh, please say, oh, that's gonna be tough to get into there. It's gonna be so tough. So I am gonna have to take this fan housing out too, which I plan to anyways, but I didn't want to do it just yet, but I gotta do it. It is, yeah, my server room is in a separate room, but at the same time, like, if things are loud enough, I can hear it. You know, there's no door on it, for sure. Oh, he has a grow room. No, grow room. Should be using zip ties. Yeah, so I partially agree. If it's tight little, you know, I use zip ties if it's inside of a case and I need like really high tension and I want to guide my power lines just right. That's when I use zip ties. I typically use zip ties inside of a case. Outside of a case, I use Velcro. But it depends. But I'm gonna use zip ties again because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to keep the tension to keep these lines down. So, and nice and neat. Hey, Jad Games 1 resub, tier 1, 12 months, 1 year. Yeah, can't believe it's been 1 year. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Okay, so let's start doing this. Just growing the David collection, yeah. I usually get my son to break his back doing all that stuff that Tim's doing under the guise of teaching. Being a father has its perks. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. You could be like, oh, I wonder what happens if you take out those screws over there. Come check back with me in about 20 minutes. I like it. Okay, so, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I can't see these, but I can get these over here. Plus Velcro, isn't that great for ESD? I don't know what ESD is, but yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, Xavius, yeah, it's, I mean, there are little tight corners in here. Electrical discharge, oh yeah, good point. Yeah, you're probably creating some static while doing it. Hate to say it, but I think you should put the motherboard favor up, not dropping something on it while working. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But I'm living on the edge. All right, this is going okay. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna disconnect my fans right here. ESD is that thing. Yeah, should I have my wrist strap on and stuff like that? Let me disconnect these fans. This was probably the easiest thing yet to take out. All right, now we're cooking. I'm actually not gonna put this back in. Oh, I probably should have remembered where I pulled these out of, but I'm sure the fan headers are pretty obvious. Oh, yeah, they have splitters right here, so. Hey, you get Noctua fans? I did, plus some other ones, which is gonna be part of another video, but I did get Noctua fans. They sent me more fans, and I was like, well, if I'm going to go through all of this, I'm going to put in Noctua PWMs. I feel bad that they sent me fans that I'm now not going to use, but yeah, Noctua, 3 Noctua here's, and then something else is going here, but you'll know more in the future. He's going RGB, damn it. I think so. Yeah, I have to make sure that what I want to do with RGB works. I don't want RGB just for the sake of having RGB. Well, there's that too. But I have something I have planned out. I have no idea if it'll work. I get most of the parts tomorrow and Tuesday. I hope it works. I hope it works because this is something that like most people haven't been able to do or figure out, and if I could figure out and get it going with Zigbee, that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm not going to put in fans in here that I can't control. I'll spill the beans a little bit. I want to put in RGB fans here. I don't have ARGB on my motherboard because it's a server board. No one's going to put ARGB pins or the controller on your motherboard. The ARGB landscape and all of that stuff is kind of crazy anyway. It's all proprietary. There are some open source things that help you control it, that bring all of the, RGB controls together under one roof. That runs on Windows, Mac, Linux. It's out there, but it's only for a desktop environment. I'm not going to have a desktop environment on here, so I'm actually gonna try to convert some RGB fans to Zigbee. Why do I want to convert it to Zigbee? Because then I can tie it into my home automation versus tying it in to a motherboard's control. So I'm going to build a Zigbee controller to then control these lights. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll find out. So anyways, yeah, it's interesting. Zalman makes a ARGB controller which runs off USB. I think so, but I think then don't you have to plug basically it's a repeater for existing ARGB? I don't know. I'll check it out. I didn't see that in my Quest. Interesting. So what software does it use? Because I definitely don't want to use software. Yeah, so software to control it. Yeah, for sure. Yep, IQ. I've looked at all of those. I do not want software on my PC to control my fans. I'm gonna go Zigbee and do external because then I can automate it with Philips Hue or SmartThings or anything else that does Zigbee. And up until now, I haven't found anyone who's done it, and I think I have a solution to do it. It needs about 10 dongles, but so do MacBooks. But yeah, so spoiler, that's kind of what I'm working on. I'll know more, but it sounds yeah, exactly. Sounds like you really want to use Home Assistant or Node-RED. Yeah, I mean, I could use anything. So the problem isn't the controlling software. Nothing to do with controlling software. If it's Zigbee, I can control it from anything, right? It's more the interface from the fans to some intelligence, right? It's that interface, it's that point of connection. On motherboards, you have ARGB pins. This doesn't have ARGB pins, so I basically want to pin that out to a Zigbee controller, so then I can do it through Zigbee, and then I can do anything. I could do Google Home, I could do, HomeKit, I could do Home Assistant, Node-RED, I can do anything. I just don't want to connect it to a proprietary system on my motherboard, of which this doesn't even have. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. I think I have everything. I think I have everything to do it, and it's going to be super cool. But the board runs the fans, right? Yeah, that is right. Yep, I got to figure it. Well, maybe, maybe. It's going to run the PWM side of it, but it's not going to run the data side of it. And the data side is where it's going to get the lights. So I hope to have this all figured out and explained, but it's going to be interesting. David Trash, I do trust the board for PWM, but my board doesn't have ARGB. This is a server motherboard. And again, once you have ARGB on a motherboard, you're locked into that vendor's software, which I don't want to use. Oh, okay, so that went well so far. I need to get this guy out now, which Oh, I hope I don't have to take this. Well, this is only 4 screws. Yeah, you guys were right. It's turning into a complete rebuild. Meant more for the fans. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the PWM. So yes. So I will daisy chain. Yes. So all the things you're asking. But like I was saying, the fan speed control will still come from the motherboard, but the data for switching the colors will not. If that makes sense. Tim DeBoss, you're not my supervisor. That is right. That is right. You are not my supervisor. I don't want to use your. Well, to be honest, if this had ARGB pins on it and software, I would have done it. That's the easy solution. But after I started searching, I realized that there isn't a solution for this. It's all DIY, and so I thought it might be a good way to dive in to figure this out. Fast LED and Adafruit NeoPixels should be able to control basically all of them, and then you can have whatever its interface you want. I'd use the, nice, yeah. So this controller, you can't see it here, but for my Raspberry Pi LED screen is actually an Adafruit controller too. I'm not sure how far down I want to go, like at what level, but I think I found a controller that'll do everything I need. Supply power, supply Zigbee, and then I can do whatever I want from there. The hard part is going from the hardest part of it all is actually power. It's actually power going from 12 volt to 5 volt. So that's the toughest part, because RGB strips, I think, use 12. I don't know. I've been researching this for about 4 days, and I think I'm going crazy now. And I finally pulled the trigger on some hardware, and I was like, I just got to try it. Hey, Danny's, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. 40 terabyte, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. 40 terabytes. For those are the libraries for Arduino and ESP. If you want to chat with me about it at some point, I build stuff like this all the time. Addressable LEDs, it'll likely be 5 volt. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, my Raspberry Pi that has the 32 by 32 LED screen is using an Adafruit hat with the controller that I've soldered. So yeah, I've done some too. That's how I get all my notifications on my Raspberry Pi. It's all custom. I built myself using different controllers. All right, am I missing one more screw? So this should just pop out, maybe? Did I miss one? I missed one. WLED is pretty good. Huh, interesting. Wireless LED, yeah, I looked into that too, but yeah, I need Zigbee at some point. Because I want to be able to control it with I want to tie it into my Philips Hue, and then from there I can automate anything I want once it gets into my Hue ecosystem. Can I move it now? Oh yeah. All right, that's out. Good morning from Indonesia. Hey, Danny's, good morning. Well, it's good evening, good afternoon from Minneapolis. How you doing? Recognizing what it looks like on a 12 gig external SAS, because I just partied with 2. Yeah. I guess it's easier, yeah. Okay. So now I can take the housing for the power supply out, but now is when I actually need to start disconnecting the power. Okay, so easy. SATA. My main power. Did you label things? Kind of. I mean, I generally understand like where things go. It's when things aren't labeled themselves that I do take a picture or label them. But I mean, a lot of things will only fit one way. I know that sounds weird, but you know, unless you're gonna jam things in, generally things won't let you do the wrong thing until you get into jumper pins and stuff like that. You won't need to. It's being recorded for sure. Play the stream backwards. I like it. I like it. Play it backwards. Ooh, these power always kill me. Yeah, for sure. Got in late. Removing your redundant power. Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what I'm doing. Is removing my redundant power. Thank you, PC Geek. That's exactly what I'm doing. There we go. These are always so tough to get off, and maybe they should be, but man, it's like, I get it. Like, why redesign this thing when it works well and you generally never take it off, but they're always such a pain in the butt. I tend to find hitting things with a hammer is always better option than noting where it goes, what goes where. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, redundant power supplies. Yeah, well, the nice thing is now I have backup power. So if this thing's this new power supply I'm putting in, if this dies, I'll have to do this all over again in a pinch to actually get the old one back in. But I think this is a standard ATX power supply, and I could have told them like, hey, I'm totally fine with buying one. But it's big, but it's pretty standard. So honestly, if unless I'm in a pinch and something's down and I absolutely have to power it on and I can't wait for parts, I could swap back to the power supplies, the dual 1200 watts. But I don't think I will have some stuff on here that's critical to where I can't wait. Oh yeah, so see, this is what I was talking about, which is super nice. You know, they zip tied stuff down. I like these zip tie things. So when you have the 3M tape on one side, and then you have a little post to be able to zip tie stuff down on, I really like those. I know you guys hate zip ties, but inside of a case, I always go zip tie. 24 pins always fill me with rage. Me too. It's like, oh, yeah, for sure. I steal power from the PSU. One of my Molex connectors just made me my own plug. Oh, nice. That's assembly's problem. Yeah, for sure. I have a whole box of those Stippy. Oh yeah, zip tie anchors. Oh, I wish I were you right now. And maybe I'll get some. Because that's super nice, especially for here and here. Like they did a really nice job. They have a lot of different ones. These were unused, but I am gonna cut this out now because I have to get these wires out of the way. I might be able to get my socket in there. Either way, I'm gonna have to. No, I don't have to cut this if I can get to. Get a socket in here, but I'm doubting I will. Or even a wrench that I could turn. I think it's too big. Let me see if I can do it with my extension. Oh, I totally grabbed the wrong extension. Let me see. Can I even get on there a little bit? One sec. If I can get it on here a little bit, I can turn it just enough to get it hand tight. There we go. I think I can get it, but I can't believe I've, oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. A little bit smaller, one smaller. How about I do this outside of here so I can figure out what the size is on here. So this is seven. I think this should fit. What is going on? I think that's good enough to at least get a turn on here. So I don't, yeah, so what I'm trying to do right now is just get this housing disconnected first. And it's giving me a little bit of problems because of the angle. And I just need to get at least like one turn. So it's not, so it's hand tight. But I don't want to strip it. I don't want to do anything weird. Weird. Oh, where's this one? All right, I think I'm going crazy. Didn't I already try all these? 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I know. I thought so too. But which is odd because it's Canadian. And yeah, I think that's what I'm finding too. 5/16. It's just weird. It's hard to tell too because like it's at an angle and I don't want to strip it out. It's hard to tell when it actually goes on. Living room? Is that a shower curtain? Yeah, I am. In my bathroom. It is. No, it's just blinds. They're blackout blinds so they don't like let in light. So I can control the light in here when I record, so I wish I had another room to do this, but I honestly don't. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get the adjustable wrench in here, but I probably can't because this is way too big. Pliers. I just need to be able to get like a tiny turn on these. And then hopefully I don't have the same problem going back out, which I probably will. All right. I've been like hesitant to clip these because I didn't want them in the way, but now I'm gonna clip them. Oh yeah, I could try that. Yeah. So, but it's tough because I can't get it on there. Let me try that. I like that. I like that. All right. Yeah, good call. Let me get my... Good call. Let me try that. Hammer. Yeah. I think this is gonna do it. Oh yeah, good call. That did it. Just enough so I can do it by hand. It's interesting too because, like, you know, in PC cases, like everything's like Phillips screwdriver and you're done. This is a little bit different. Okay, got to do the same to the other one. All this so I didn't have to like cut some zip ties. Socket doesn't fit on here too well, but it's gonna have to go for now. Let's see. Come on, buddy. One sec. Not what I should be using, because now I actually need to do it right. One sec. That's what I should have used in the beginning. Okay, so there we go. So that slim thing there is a server rack PSU. So that's the housing to it. That is the housing to it. The actual PSUs, it's a housing for redundant power supplies. So these two 1200 watt PSUs that are hot swappable went inside of this housing. So I'm actually taking them out, and I'm doing it because of noise, because these servers go in my house. But in, you know, a data center or in a small business in a network closet, it would totally be fine. But I don't have that. I mean, I do have a dedicated room for them, but I still want to make sure that, you know, it's not loud. And for what I run at home, I hate to say I don't need dual power supplies, because it's nice. Even if I ran one as a cold spare, it'd be nice. But, you know, at the same time, my other servers actually don't. I'm living on the edge. My 1Us do not. There we go. Yeah. No, fortunately mine aren't too loud now. I just didn't want to add to the noise, you know? Okay, there we go. Voila. Okay, so now we have to do real cutting now. When I say real cutting, it's just zip ties. So those posts are still there, good. Okay, so it looks like this might be, oh man, never ends. The things I'm gonna have to disconnect. Okay, so this is the first one that absolutely has to go. It's always scary, like cutting zip ties right next to wires. There's that. Okay, the majority of them. Yeah, data centers can be loud. I've never had ones where I've needed earplugs. I mean, maybe I should have been wearing them, but I've never been in one that actually required them. But I do like wearing earplugs when I need to, or at least I know I need to. Like, I'm not afraid to wear them at concerts when I go, if I ever go. Just because I don't know, I need to protect my ears. Okay, so this, oh, I see what's going on. So this pin out right here is connected here, so I do have to disconnect this too. Okay. Now, they weren't messing around on these zip ties. They did a really good job. Really good job. Okay, so then this needs to come on too. Then that's good. So this stays. This is for the fans up here, which I'll end up replacing. And then this is for those fans too. Yeah, cable management for the win. Yeah, they did a great job. I'm not the greatest at it at all. Not even one bit. But okay, so this I feel like is important enough for me to take a photo of. So this looks like fan header. So it's probably for the speed, but I'm gonna document this so I can remember that these two guys plugged into here. We fabricate the reality we live in, so if you call that a simulation, then well, it is for you. I'll remember you. Okay, so now I can take this up here. Okay. Looking good. Let me get this bolt out of the way. So I think I can pull this out now. What say you? Am I connected anywhere else? I am. Okay, so this guy, so this must be. All right, I'm gonna get a photo of that too. So that's a power jumper. Interesting. I don't even know. Oh, what is that one even for? Probably sensors. Yeah, good call. The jumper is JP12C1, but I don't. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, probably is this sensor, or is it have to do with like dual power supplies? I just don't ever remember having to disconnect this one. out of focus. Let me see. All right. Okay, there we go. We there yet? We are there yet. Okay, so here is the new power supply. Oh yeah, how is this even going to, and this is where I feel like I might need their instructions instead of trying to wing this right here. Because I have no idea how this lines up. It doesn't line up there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at their diagram to see how they want this in here. Because this one lines up. Oh, maybe I won't have to look at their diagram. Famous last words. No, I will, because these bolts definitely doesn't go like this, obviously. Mounting screws in the back of the power supply? Yeah. But they have, I mean, it'll, it's just interesting that like they would only give me 2 standoffs right there. You know, like that. Well, you know, we could look at the new back plate and see how that says. Oh yeah, nailed it. That's how it goes. Because if you look at this back plate right here, you can tell it's going to go vertical. And if you line these screws up, they're going to line right up to here. So it does go that way. I have a feeling like there may be some additional parts to get this in here the right way, and I might have to take out some additional screws too. Because there are these big case screws right here, which I'm just gonna turn a little bit so that they're not pressing up against this power supply. It is weird still that like I would only connect two screws at the top. Let me see. Okay, so let's get my Phillips. That was used to disable SMB to PCI slots. That's your motherboard in case you need to put stuff back in. Yep. Let me turn these out. So you can't see these, but there are these big screws right here, which is actually for the rails, which kind of worries me a little bit. I can turn them out, but it's kind of a little scary. I don't think. Yeah, I should probably look. I feel like I might be not missing something. But maybe there's an additional standoff or something? Let me look in the box. Okay, yeah, should have looked in there before. So they did include a lot of these zip tie, like sticky back things. There are some standoffs in here, which is kind of what I was thinking, that like it would be super weird for me to turn out the screws that actually attach to the server rails and zip ties. So cool. I still feel like I should look at their instructions for sure, because they didn't include them, but they have them, I think, on the web. So I should look really quick, because I'm still not sure. Like like I don't know if you can see this, but you know, there are these screws right here where it attaches, where the server rails actually grip onto, and I shouldn't really just attach this directly to it. I bet it goes like this, because there is an extra screw up here. I bet it goes like this, and there's a standoff. There are 2 holes there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this plate. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I look at this, this lines up. So this should line up perfectly. Let me just actually put this in here because then I'll have a better idea of how it attaches. It's back. I'm only putting this here temporarily. Actually, I could attach it now permanently. I do want to see like, okay, so it does lay flat and it does stand off about this much. Okay, so that's what those standoffs are for. So they have, still, they have standoffs here. So they gave me 2 standoffs, which match those 2 screws. I think that's all I need to do, honestly. So they gave me like these 2, you know, female to female, like little screws, like standoffs. And I think I just attach those to there. So then I can keep this out about like that and have, I don't know, 1/2 inch gap so that it's not pressed up against the wall of this case, because behind there is where you actually attach the server rails. I know I should probably look at their instructions, but I mean, I honestly can't see another way that this would work. And there aren't any additional screws. It's interesting to me that there would only be 2 screws there to keep this in place. But again, I mean, it's not like this is going to be shuffled around a ton, and then 4 attached to the back here. So I think I'm okay with that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Google. Yeah, maybe the stand at the slide. Those spacers are for the screws, yeah. Well, bolts to the back plane. Well, it bolts to the back plane. I should look it up. I'm gonna look it up. I won't be able to see chat for a second, but I have my laptop right here where I can go. 45 drives. Place power supply. Oh, it's the top hit on Google. There we go. Replace them with a non-redundant power supply. Looks exactly like what I'm doing. Procedure, first undo a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I did all this, man. I think I'm about 60% there. Lots of pictures, lots of pictures. Lots of pictures. Okay, so yep. Then take out those, then take out this. Yeah, I did all this already. Huh, they kind of skip over that part right there. So I'm looking at it. The back of the fan shroud, okay. It's basically like, take out the fan shroud, which I did. Then it just says, now that we removed the fan bracket from the chassis, we can start removing the power supply. Okay, so that's removing. Oh yeah, it is. I see the standoffs, so those little things. Hey, PC Geek gifted. Dude, thank you so much, PC Geek. Tier 1 sub to Reason Tech. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it, PC Geek. Thank you so much. So they do show the standoffs. Then they attach the back plate and the hard drives. Do they put the fan shroud in last, back in there? I feel like I need to scroll backwards because they're actually disassembling it. Oh yeah, this is the opposite. They're actually in their documentation replacing a single with dual, but I'm going the other way around. So I feel like I'm good. Yep. So I see. Okay, I'm good. I know what needs to be done. Unless they have one for the other way around, but I kind of find that like I don't think they would actually do that. Pizza Geek, dude, thank you again. Gifted tier 1 sub to JCX Live. Thank you. Reason Tech and JCX, enjoy your gifted sub from PC Geek. Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I doubt they have the other way around. So they have swapping from non-redundant to redundant, but I doubt they're going to have a KB article on doing the same exact thing, but in the opposite order. Me personally, I probably would, only because, like, you know. But anyways, Cool, so don't have to worry about that. All right, cool. So let's just start putting it together. I think I knew what to do. I think I know what to do. 1 second. Let me grab some water. Okay. Reason tech, yeah. So let's see. Okay, so I think we're good. I am a little hesitant though to put this fully back together because, like I said, I wanted to do some fan stuff. And I want to be able to access these fans. So I might just get, for now, this power supply back in, some of the cable management run, without putting it totally back together because, like I said, I want to do some fan stuff. So let's at least get this back in. Should make me a sandwich? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's get these little stand-ups here. All right. So put these in here. In here. I'm going to give these a turn so that they're on here good and they don't spin on themselves. I don't want to like do it too tight, just enough. There we go. There, that's good enough. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so then it's typically these screws are for the back usually, so it's gonna be these. And now I have screws in like 3 places. It's like the screws I decided to put in the box, then like the screws I decided to put over here, and then new screws. So we'll figure it out. Okay, so then this should go here. This is gonna be smooth sailing now. Snake screwdriver, yeah, good call. I should have one of those, I feel like. Because that would be super helpful, especially right now where this is getting weird. Okay, so there we go. It's in there good. Yeah, I mean Snake. Yeah, there are a few times I wish I've had one. Now might be that, but I've been pretty okay with this plus another long screwdriver. I've been able to get a lot of stuff done. I'm always I don't know. I always lean towards less specialized, more general. But I think now would be a good time for something specialized. Just because I mean, it's great to have the right tool for the job, and it's great having like something specialized to make the work easier. But a lot of times it's, it's things I can get into, but like this, I think that would help. I think you're right. Okay, so if I did this in reverse order, I would put this up next. So this is the new fan shroud that I am going to put into here. However, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be replacing the fans, and those fans aren't here yet. So I don't know if I should put these in here yet. I could tie down. Oh, I thought for a minute my SATA power supply, my SATA cables weren't going to be long enough. And it is unfortunate that this power supply only has 2. So I'm definitely gonna need some adapters. I mean, I know that I only have 2 right here to power it, but still seems like not enough. I think they gave me, I guess. I mean, they don't expect you to power anything else, but you know, 2 SATA and 2 Molex. I guess what else would I need? But I do need at least 1 additional SATA for SATA power for something I want to do. So I will need to get a splitter at some point. It's my 12-volt rails, and then here's my Molex. Here are the fan pins. I'm just gonna kind of semi-organize these, at least get them going kind of where they need to go, generally speaking, so they're not all twisted up. This one is always the bear to get, so let's go. These, okay, so this goes here. Yeah, SATA power splitters are a dime a dozen. Yeah, they are. I think I have some. I have so many of like Molex splitters. Molex splitters are the ones that get weird, like the pins are all busted, and it just always feels weird using Molex splitters because I guess, you know, sometimes they're really, the quality can vary. And I've had a few questionable ones where you push it into an existing Molex and it pops those out. But SATA, yeah, you're absolutely right. Those splitters, I will check my trusty junk drawer before I buy some more, or I'll just buy some more and figure it out later. That's usually what I do. Awesome that this has USB power right here too, because that is awesome. Okay, anyways, because I thought I wanted to do something else with the USB, and I thought I was gonna have to actually find the header over here and then add, you know, a USB connection to a header inside, but I already have one. Anyways, that's totally an aside, something else I wanted to do, but that is awesome that there's one right there. Let me, okay. I don't want to connect these yet. So these fans are coming up to here, So this is all fan stuff that I'm going to replace, because these fans are going to get replaced. Let me get this into here. I'm working, we want the same camel management as you found it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try for sure. But I don't want it that way because I had to spare Molex on my PSU. I was using all the SATA ones. Haha, yeah, for sure. Oh, I used a Molex splitter to make my power stealer for my RGB project. Nice, yeah. I'm working on my router and wondering why the hell I can't get the Ethernet. Cursing it out. Forgot to unplug. I forgot to plug it into the LAN. Nice. I learned the other day that the Molex connector is only rated for 30 plug and unplug cycles. Ooh. Whoa, yeah, I guess they don't, yeah, I guess I can see that because the way that they're designed, you know, it's just like this little piece of metal that flexes when you connect them together, and, you know, one pin goes inside the other housing, and I guess you can only do that so many times before it gets too loose and you don't have a connection anymore. Because it's all like tension based, so yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, I am gonna connect a couple of things. I don't know yet how far I'm gonna go, because like I mentioned, I have some plans for fans, and the fans aren't here, and plus if I was gonna do that plus fans plus figure something out, that would be a really long stream. So let me get this in here. All right, there we go. Fans plans, yeah, plans for my fans. I do have plans for my fans, big plans, but I'm not sure yet. All right, I'm gonna get some of this stuff out of the way that I don't need to plug in yet. I do need to plug in this, my 12-volt rails. It's connected. Yep. I wish this wasn't so long, but I will tidy this up afterward. Sorry, my hat and everything's in the way, but I just need to get this guy plugged in. good. Should be underneath here. Come on, buddy. Yeah, they were not designed to plug and unplug often. They are better connectors if you want more action. Yeah. Diva Trash, don't you want the housing in there first? The housing for the fans? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not gonna put that together yet because I do want to use different fans. I just want to get a couple of these power connectors like connected to it. I could actually even test this without my fans to power it on just to make sure the power supply works. That would probably be a good idea. But I'm not going to fully connect it yet, mainly because I need my fans. I got plans for my fans. And then I guess we could hear the power difference, I guess, because we could at least power it on. I know I won't have all the fans connected, but that's okay. Let me see. I might need to look to see. There we go. Wondering where the heck this was. Oh, I'm glad it's a shorty too. There's that. So here. So then these are the fan headers that I had in here earlier, so I might as well connect these. Did you say you were using Noctuas? Yeah, I am going to use Noctuas. I'm going to use 3 Noctuas and 3 of something else. TBD on the 3 of something else. Literally, the fans that came with my server cabinet use 25 watts of power. The Noctuas use a 10 total. Yeah, yep. I am going to replace these with all, pretty efficient fans. I hate to keep these in the rubber band because these rubber bands will get fragile and crack and fall apart over time. And I should use zip ties eventually. So, trying to remember how these were connected. I think they can only connect one way. Famous last words. I think I've said that a few times. Yeah, these only connect one way, and then I put it in the wrong way and fry everything. Just want to untangle this so that it's not a rat's nest when I zip tie everything down, so bear with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Don't think that it matters which is which, because these are all gonna go to here. The fan 1, 2, 3. Let's actually kind of get these in the order that they're twisted up in, and they're not labeled, so I don't think it really matters. No, these probably shouldn't touch each other. I know that. But I don't have anything to connect them to for now. I could tape them, but that's gonna live on the edge. Okay. Could put this here. Oh man, I never unscrewed that screw, which is totally fine. Because all I needed to do was pivot it a little bit. It's probably better that I didn't because it would be flopping around right now. How am I looking on power? I think this is literally all I need to connect to get my motherboard at least going. I didn't do the greatest job at looking at everything. So these are going to be for here. These are all these power to connect to here. I don't need these 12 volt rails, I think, to connect to anything. Should review the tape Actually, I think I have a shot of my motherboard before I took it apart. I just want to see like what I had connected into there, just to be sure that that I kind of have things back in place. Ooh, luckily, it's funny. I actually didn't take a photo before, but I did in my tweet today, so I can kind of see high level what was plugged in, and it's looking like 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it's good. So I tweeted this out earlier, and I'm glad I did because this is actually my wiring diagram from high level. So anyways, I think at least I can plug it in and we can hear the noise. I know that this stream is getting long. Do I use Macs too? Yeah, I do, absolutely. I use a Mac all day for work. So at work we use Macs. I'm a software developer or software engineer for my day job, and I use a Mac all day long. At home I use Windows plus WSL plus Mac, and then I have a bunch of Linux servers and a couple of Windows servers. Well, Windows virtual machines, not Windows Server itself. So. But yeah, I do use a Mac. It's actually right back over there, and I've used one for a long time. I worked at a couple places where if you started software engineering, they just bought you a Mac, and so it's been interesting. Like I love it. Like I love being able to use, you know, Mac during the day, Windows at night, Linux all the time, whenever I want. I like to, you know, keep on top of all three operating systems, you know, and keep my skills kind of sharp. So it's super fun, super fun. Ideas on. No, I didn't. I don't know what that means, but no, I didn't. I didn't say that. Okay, so cool. Now that I have Proxmox server, wondering about Linux and Windows for specialized use cases. Yeah, absolutely. You can. Yeah, for sure. It's yeah. I have virtual Linux machines. I have virtual Windows machines. I have physical Windows machines. Like that's powering this stream right now, and it's powering my other laptop right here. And then I have physical. I have a MacBook Pro for work. Okay. I feel like we should power this on. I hope that nothing is touching that shouldn't be touching. I just want to make sure that this power supply works before putting it all back together. And at the same time, I'm not going to put it all back together today because I'm waiting on my new fans and they get here tomorrow/Monday. So that is a different job for a different day. Okay, what say? Should we do it? More power. All right, Reason Tech. I thought that was where you said you were a software developer and all. They made my favorite gaming keyboard. No, not for there. For a small startup. So RDP is so nice. It's the only reason why I'm looking into it, to be honest. Haha. Yeah, RDP. I think we talked about this a little bit both in Discord and on Twitch last week. But RDP for Windows is so awesome. Like, it's super duper performant. Like, you can't find, I mean, outside of Parsec and very specialized cases, like RDP for Windows is one of the best remote clients in the world, hands down, for sure. Remote desktop, yeah, for sure. What are you using as a separate Q device? What do you mean about Q device? Sorry. Ryzen 7 5800 3D or the Ryzen 9 5900 for streaming and gaming. Have an RTX, need help. I mean, so either a 7 5800 or a 9 5900. I mean, I would go 9 5900. If you're only gaming and streaming and you have a 3070, I mean, you could totally go lower. But if you're doing anything else that's multi-processor or you're going to do some video rendering or anything that can take advantage of more cores, I say go for it. I mean, if you're going to spend that much money, you know, what's a couple $100 extra bucks on top of it? But that's where I usually lean towards, because, you know, we're in a I mean, at least it seems we're in an environment right now where you build a new machine like every 4 or 5 years. You know, that's how it's been for me. And rarely do you upgrade individual parts. I mean, besides adding RAM or swapping out hard drives, but I don't know. Now I buy my systems the way I want them, and I try to max them out over time. And you know, invest at the time of buying, because I'm rarely going to be like, oh, you know, I bought a lower processor, you know, in 4 years I'm going to swap it out to a higher processor. I don't typically do that. So like I have virtual assistant, USB, except Windows. Isn't it right? It's really insecure, isn't it? If you're talking about Windows or RDP, no, they're both pretty secure. They're both pretty secure. But I might be missing it because chat's going pretty fast right now. If you use a VPN, it's rock solid. Don't open the ports. Hey, for sure, for sure. So, and you could say that about any service. Like, is this service, like, is there anything inherently insecure about RDP? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's very secure. The protocol, you know, RDP protocol is over TLS. It is encrypted and it is secure. But authentication is based off of your credentials, your Windows machine. So, I mean, it's just like putting any service out there on the public internet. Is that service inherently insecure? Probably not. But are you using one? Are you exposing it publicly? Yes or no? You probably shouldn't. You should probably do it through VPN, like others are saying. Two, on top of that, you should be using a secure password, even for your Windows machine. I mean, you don't normally think about like, oh, my password at home is my home machine. You know, I could keep my password as password. That's totally fine. Well, if you're going to open up RDP and you're going to let people or things or you or other things remote into your Windows machine, you should probably have a secure password. So now, even if you do have a home machine, you should probably have a secure password. But yeah, for sure. You could change the RDP port. I mean, you could do that, but really that's security through obscurity, right? Security through obscurity, and changing the port just means that, you know, a large majority of the bots looking won't find it, but anyone who knows how to do a port scan will be able to find it pretty easily, for sure. And then on top of that, I think Cloudflare, one of the few, so Cloudflare will do actual protection for RDP too. I think that's one of the two services. Is it RDP and SSH? Zero Tier does. Yeah, for sure. Tailscale, yep, that's good VPN too. But I think if you're using Zero Trust from Cloudflare, they, on top of web services, they actually support protecting RDP as well as SSH. So, which is pretty awesome. Like if you're gonna do, you know, if you're gonna keep it on the public and you want to do something Zero Trust instead of a VPN, you can absolutely go that way. And RDP should work with Cloudflare's Zero Trust platform too. Okay, let's looking at SSH lock by YubiKeys. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there are so many layers you can layer on top of it, right? It's only going to get better the more security you apply. You know, put rules on top of your firewall. You only use VPN, or if you're not using VPN, you do Zero Trust. On top of that, you know, you look at the logs and you use either, you know, fail to ban, or you use CrowdSec on top of that, or you offload that to Cloudflare and let them do that blocking. And then on top of that, then you're using, you know, secure usernames, secure passwords, and you just got to keep layering it on. Yeah, and then as you guys are mentioning, multi-factor authentication with YubiKey, or with a hardware key, or even a software key with a TOTP. I mean, the more layers you add for security, the better. And, you know, a lot of people, unless you're targeted out for a specific reason, they're going to go on to the next one. Most bots, you know, aren't going to try real hard. They're gonna do like the path of least resistance, which is going to be someone who's running something on a default port with, you know, an easily brute forceable username and password, you know, a dictionary-based attack. They're going to go after that because that's easy. You know, unless you're specifically targeted, you know, most of the time bots are just they're gonna keep going. They're just browsing, you know, they're just fishing, you know, they just cast out a lot of lines and they want to catch a fish, you know, and if you have a lot of the protection we were just talking about, they're most likely going to keep on going, unless you're, you know, a person of interest and they're going to target you specifically. But yeah, for sure. JCX, secure, user-friendly, easy to implement. Pick two. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm in the boat. Like I do a lot of multi-factor security for all of my services, and I don't mean just MFA, multi-factor authentication, but I layer on different techniques and for my services for sure. Bots be like your password. Yep. Yeah, just brute force. And so yeah, there's so many things you can do, but I wouldn't say that one thing is good enough. I would say that you should layer them all on. And I've said this a few times. Like I talk about a lot of this. I have a video out there. Just Google, look on YouTube for homelab security or self-hosting services securely. You see a video by me. I talk about all of this, a high-level overview of everything that you can do, and you should probably do them all or most of them to the best of your ability. Yeah, good one. Plus, we had a dark web scan done out of employee info, some of it out there because of it being exposed to emails. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. PSA, don't forget to re-enable your WAF when you finish doing it when you need to. I've been there before. I wish those kind of settings had like the auto timer where they turn back on, like a Windows has the antivirus. If you turn it off, it's going to check in a little bit and turn it back on. Or like Wi-Fi on, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on your iPhone, you turn it off. Like at the end of the day, it's going to turn it back on because like you normally want it on. You turned it off for a specific reason. I wish firewalls would implement that stuff too. But then again, you could be locking yourself out if you were really testing stuff, but maybe if they had a double option to say, auto enable this feature after 60 seconds. Just like Pi-hole. Pi-hole, you can disable all of your rule blocking for, whatever, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and it'll come back on, or you can do it indefinitely. I agree that I wish that, firewalls had that same idea where you could disable a feature for a specific amount of time, set it to something kind of high, and it's just in case you forget to turn it back on. So, yeah, good call. Okay, let's power this on and see if sparks fly or smoke comes out, or if it still works. This is probably not ideal, but that's okay because it's not plugged into a PCI Express slot. This is okay because it's not plugged into power. Yeah, dim the lights for this one. I like it. All right, yeah, go with my good theme. This should be okay because I don't care about the fans right now because we just want to hear this power supply. This should be okay because I never even unplugged it, so we're getting our power from the power supply. Then we're getting our additional power. I don't have those additional pins that we saw from the dual power supplies. So we're good there. I don't need to plug those in. That must have been for like failing over or switching. And I think we're good. I think I just need to plug in the power. I'm a little bit nervous. Fire extinguisher. I do have a fire extinguisher. I have 2 of them, and they are not in this room. I don't usually do things in here that could catch fire. I guess I do now since I have a second workbench here. Okay, I say let's go for it. I mean, what can go wrong, right? Worst case scenario, I blow out the whole entire motherboard. Best case scenario, it all works. The way that I have this right now is so jank. So anyways, let me make sure that this is turned off first. Okay. Oh yeah. So this is a million times better. This fan is running really high right now, but this power supply, whisper quiet, compared to what it was before. This fan is still a little bit loud. I get why it needs to be, but it's probably running at 100% right now because it doesn't, yeah. That's the better one, yeah. So what you're hearing right now is the CPU fan. You're not hearing the power supply fans on top of that too. Stuff a pillow over, right? Yeah, totally. I do wonder if I could swap out that fan too at some point, but it seems pretty custom. But yeah, so what you're hearing is 100% this. I could go for broke really quick and disconnect this. So here, I'll do it. Just to prove a point. I'm gonna disconnect. This could go really bad, but I'm gonna disconnect this for just a second. I mean, it should be fine. I mean, we're just booting into BIOS. and should be fine. But I'm going to disconnect the fan to the CPU just so you can hear that, hey, this power supply is whisper quiet, whereas before it wasn't at all. Instead of using my fingernails, I should probably use a tool because I have tools here, and a little bit easier that way. Knock to that one too. I don't know. I think this is a 40 millimeter, you know, and I might be able to. I like where you're going with that. It's 60 millimeter. Thank you, PC Geek. I do wonder though, like if a 60 millimeter fan will actually push, you know, like if I replace this, I think that these kinds of fans, I forget what they're called, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll check to see if this can be replaced. But I have a feeling that these kind of fans, I forget what they're called, that are from servers, like, or that are designed for servers, that I can replace them with something like a Noctua fan. I would love to. Okay, it's always DNS and Noctua everything. All right. So let me pop this out. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to show you without that fan, so you can listen and see if you hear anything from my power supply. It's on. You can see the light right there. I mean, there's just a little hum right here, so. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want, I don't want that running for too long without air flowing. Yeah, you can just hear it a little bit. I do have a noise gate on the stream just so you don't hear, me breathing and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's super quiet. It's what you would expect out of any fan. Is the CPU fan motherboard connection not PWM? Is the CPU fan motherboard connection not PWM? I mean, it should be. It should be. I mean, I should be. Shut it down. BIOS won't do any power save state. It's kind of like just it's idle C1, so it'll let it cool when it's in the BIOS, which doesn't let it cool when it's in the BIOS. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But it is off. I only did it temporarily just to kind of prove a point. Oh my goodness. So that was a lot of stuff. Hey, MTI Bet, Resub Prime, 2 months. 1 month streak. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm actually going to jump back over here really quick. Because why not? Check. Can you hear me? I think so. But my screen is green. I know why my screen is green. Oh, I actually let it go for that long to where my camera was like, hey, I'm gonna go green for some reason. There we go. Hey, how's it going? Hey, so man, that was one of my longest streams. I just wanted to, walk through, starting to get that set up and get things cut over. So yeah, so I have a lot to do. Yet. I didn't fully do it, but I got a majority of the work done. So what's left for this server? Well, there's a couple things. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to replace the fans. I'm going to replace almost every single fan in there with Noctua fans. Some are going to be a little bit different because I want to do some stuff with RGB, but I don't want to do the traditional RGB that everyone does. And also, this doesn't have an ARGB port on the motherboard, so there's no way I could do it anyways without going kind of hacksaw on it. So I might go a little hacksaw on it. We'll see. But yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry that went a little bit long. Just wanted to do something a little bit different and get some work done at the same time. It's always nice when I can get a 2-for-1 and actually accomplish some work and then hang out with you guys as well. So I appreciate it. Simulation broken. It totally was broken. I have a feeling that camera overheated or something. I don't know. Or went into sleep mode, and then OBS was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna make the screen green because that's what I want to do when I don't have a signal." Who knows? Thank you. I appreciate that. We're not complaining about long streams. It's nice to have you longer than an hour stream. Thank you. Yeah, and I still want to make sure I in the future I save some time for questions you have. I know that a lot of people are super polite and they're like, he's doing something, he's working on something. I don't want to ask that question that I've been trying to figure out. So I just want to switch it up and make sure that, you know, some of my other streams I still allow for that. So I appreciate it. I cried myself to sleep. Oh goodness. Oh man. Thanks for the follow. Klutzershi. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Hey, so anyways, thank you guys so much for all of the follows, for all of the bits, for all of the subs, for the gifted subs, and especially for being here in all the conversation and helping me swap out this power supply. I'm not done yet. I'm most likely going to do the rest of it. Off camera. Well, at least on a live stream. I might do some of the rest in the video while I try to figure out how to get you know, ARGB working with a motherboard that doesn't support ARGB, but not do it through motherboard software and maybe do it through Zigbee. Because who doesn't want, I mean, who wants to use motherboard software? I don't, because one, I don't have it. Two, I don't want to depend on it for everything. So because it's such, yeah, it's kind of a mess right now as far as platform specific software goes. And I'm running on a server. I mean, yeah, of course you got to put RGB on your server, and no one gives you ARGB ports on your server. So just been figuring that out. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for bits, subs, follows, everything. Thanks for, you know, for chatting and for helping me out. I will be back next Saturday for sure. I might have something out this week too if I can figure all this out and get this hardware and get everything coordinated, because I realized lately there's a lot of hardware rolling in, and I got to get this all coordinated and going. And I have dependency. I have a dependency chain. Need to swap this out before I can do, you know, power supply swap, before I can do the fans. I have to wait on those. New server rack will be here tomorrow, but I couldn't put that together until I had this done, and then I need to move some server stuff around, and I don't know, a lot of good stuff coming, a lot of good stuff. Less Kubernetes, a lot of hardware. The next couple of videos are going to be a lot of hardware and a lot of changes. Just getting ready for 2023, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'll be, should be in Discord later. I will absolutely be on Twitter all the time, and I will be back next week. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, and be good to each other. Take care, folks. Thank you.